Hi friends, Itheria here, and about 3-ish weeks ago, I asked people on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter, what is the weirdest thing a stranger has whispered to you in Final Fantasy XIV? Let me tell you, the community did not disappoint with their answers. And I would also like to note that this whole video idea and the question itself was inspired by someone in my Discord server who mentioned that when they played a bunny girl, they got a lot more weird tells than when they played any other race. So hey, join my Discord server. Anyways, I'm just going to read off some of my favorites to you. It's going to be kind of a casual, chill video. I basically made Reddit and you guys on Twitter and YouTube do all the work, but let's just enjoy everyone's answers. Here we go. First, from Unloved Daikons on Reddit. Had a Lala chase me down in Ul'dah the other night, trade me an infant imp minion, whisper me, "free baby," and then run off after saying, "the contract is complete. The devil is real and they're a Lala on Lamia." Yeah, I don't know, I guess don't accept something for free if it's from a Lalafell. Might not be safe, don't know what you're getting into. Moving on. I'm on Crystal, so we get a lot of weird random tells. I am also on Crystal. I wish I got a lot of weird random tells, but I don't, so Ginger Vampire 22, I think you're the lucky one here. But maybe the weirdest and funniest was the dude who spawned on top of where I was AFKing in Limsa. See, that's your problem, you're in Limsa. Who took more than a few minutes to move, then whispered, "You smell like peppermint and old feet." I feel like that's kind of an insult. I don't think I would like for them to say that to me, but certainly is a nice story to tell your friends. The next one is a little bit of a heartwarming story. "Papa!" I tabbed back to game to see an identically dressed Chocobo Racing helmeted Lalafell at my feet. That was like 2 years ago. Still today, if we run across each other, we will just send a quick tell of Papa and Son. Other than a brief conversation about the helmet being made dyeable recently, we've never spoken any other words to each other. I mean, I don't know if I would call that friendship or not, but like, it can only happen in a video game. The next one is, about like femro obsession, which I don't really get, but like it's a real thing in 14. And there was actually a number of comments similar to this one, but I don't know, I guess I just thought this one was one of the less disgusting ones. I kind of didn't want to include a lot of really gross stuff in the video, just because like I don't want to get demonetized, but also it's kind of boring. Like there's so many like creepy sexual things in like the Reddit thread that people say that they got whispered that it's like not even worth putting in the video because there's so many that it's boring. It's not fun, it's not fresh, it's not even that weird because it happens so often apparently. But anyways, here's this one. I got numerous weird things whispered to me when I was ephemeral, but my favorite was someone randomly traded me a model for my house and whispered, "You deserve pretty things." This next one, I can't tell if it's supposed to be sexual or not, but it says, "Once I was checking some quests as someone told, 'Can I suffer under your legs?'" It probably is a horny thing. Who am I kidding? It's probably thirsty. Meg Waffle says, "I'm an NPC cosplayer, name and all, so I often get tons of whispers. My favorite is still this random guy that whispered me in Mare Lamentorum and Walker Zone, so the moon. 'Hey, you down for some ERP with my friend, or is it not your style?' To which I replied, 'Maybe you can help me. I've found pudding way, talking way, and sleeping way.'" They did not use an Oxford comment. I'm really mad about that. "But I can't seem to find three-way anywhere." I then promptly told them I don't erp, but that popped into my head and I had to send it. They had a good laugh, and we have actually been friends in game since EU launch. So I like a few things about this. I kind of ruined the punchline of the joke with my interjection, but I couldn't help it because like Oxford comma is super important. So what I love about this one is two things. The first one is the joke that they made back about couldn't find three-way is actually pretty good. And then the second thing I like about it is that these people actually became friends. I feel like the roleplay community, and especially the erotic roleplay community, gets a really bad reputation, and like it's nice that, there's kind of little judgment here and they ended up becoming friends because everybody is horny. The Erpers are just a little more open about it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. This one is funny not so much because of the DM the person got, but because of the answer on Reddit. Got a DM from a guy who wanted to gift me a Fantasia so I could become his minimum height, pink-haired Rayan wife. Listen, you're gonna have to pay me a lot more than a Fantasia to do that. Anyways, the answer on Reddit said, accept and become max height Hrothgar. Next one, also from Reddit. While not a tell, I was in Totorak and got aggro from a single trash mob for like 2 seconds before the tank picked it up, only for one of the DPS to screech, "Don't touchy my healer." I'm really wondering if they meant touch or touchy, because like there's a difference. Don't touchy my healer. Anyway, in party chat, and asked me for a kiss afterwards. Here's the thing, it was cute at first, but then it escalated into a zone where it was like, you just had to ruin it. Alright, next one. Catgirl main here, so I'm not really uncommon, but I have gotten a lot of interesting whispers. I was in Ul'dah once, terribly lost and confused, just trying to find the plaza. I'm really bad at navigation, sweetheart, it is not just you. When I first started this game, Ul'dah was the most confusing city ever. I ranted about it, I raged about it, I hated it, I wanted to destroy it, I hated the devs for putting it in the game. There was nothing I liked about Ul'dah, I still hate Ul'dah. I feel like now that I'm reliving this, I hate the goblet more than I did before, which before it was really a neutral feeling, but now I kind of hate it because of how much I hate Ul'dah. Anyways. It was before 6.0 and the maps for the Aetheryte menu weren't there yet. A random Ora must have noticed because he walked up to me, whispered an emoji, and asked if he could help me. I decided to play along and asked him to give me directions. He walked me to the Aetheryte, bowed, and went on his way. I've since learned that the emoji he shared was an indication of being interested in ERPing and gained an appreciation that he picked up that I didn't understand and still stayed in the roleplay to help a stranger get where they were going. And this is once again kind of a more heartwarming one. And again saying, not everybody who ERPs is a total creep. Next, I was being nosy in apartments, walked in on 2 bun boys. One turned to me and said, "Look in the shower. Is that blood or ketchup?" Now I want to know, what were they doing in there before the person walked in? Is this, part of a roleplay? What is going on? That one just leaves me with questions. Moving on from Blue the Slinky, I only had a weird tell once. Someone just randomly asked if they could roleplay being a tiny Hrothgar who lives inside my shoe. I was very confused and politely declined. That's actually kind of cute. Of all the things that people get DM'd, especially, like I said before, a lot of them are thirsty and sexual. This one, a tiny Hrothgar who lives in my shoe. Kind of cute in its own way. Oh, this next one's pretty good. I had someone named Frustrated Retainer run up to me and hand me a whole ass window, then sent me the tell, "Next time I'll bring you a fish." Very in character. The next one I feel like we don't have the context for, but this person must have a name with Pepper in it or having to do with Dr. Pepper or something along those lines. But the tell they got said, "I bet you don't even have a Dr. Pepper tattoo. You don't deserve to have that name." I'm gonna say it, guys, Dr. Pepper is mid. Okay? Moving on. Not much compared to others, but I complimented an Ora on their glam and I got a stinky lizard kiss in return, and I'm disgusted, okay? Why is it stinky? Because immediately, I think Ora are really cute. I've got a lot of Ora in my Discord server. And actually I just feel like there's actually a pretty good, following of people who love Ora. But I feel like this one's taking it too far, because if we think of Ora as, lizards, are they slimy? Why is it stinky? I don't like it. I don't like it. Get some breath mints. If you're gonna send kisses, let's just give a little dote and be done. I got a flirty tell calling me a cat daddy, which is fairly normal for Hrothgars according to this thread. Problem being that I'm a male row, covered head to toe in blight for half of my tank glams. I toggled helmet visibility and he sent another saying, "Ew, never mind." Sad face. Was a few days after Endwalker's launch after I fantasiaed to a male Viera. Was chilling out in Limsa once again. This is the problem, people. When I get whispered by a Miko telling me I was cute and asking if I could keep a secret before immediately telling me that's what all men say and darting off into who knows where. Still the weirdest interaction I've had in Limsa to this day. Who hurt you? Who hurt that little Mikote that they're coming out here being that's what all men say? Gosh. Now this next one could be a typo or it could be a serial killer. It just says, "I loved your skin." So yeah, that maybe they were trying to say, I love your skin, and they liked the skin color that the person chose, because you can put cute little like freckles. I've seen some really cool stuff people have done with some of like the more gray tinge skins, so maybe that's what it was. Or maybe we don't want to know what they meant. Here we have one from YouTube finally. Reddit was definitely the biggest. I got like hundreds of response on Reddit, where I only got a handful on YouTube and Twitter, but here is one from YouTube. This wasn't a whisper, but it's relevant. I remember when I was a Sprout about 2 weeks into the game, I queued into a dungeon and the healer slapped everybody. The tank was into it and started flirting with the healer, and before I knew it, the two were having a roleplay BDSM session during the dungeon pulls. The healer would let the tank get really low on HP and say stuff like, bad piggies don't get heals. Piggies? Guys, if you're gonna erotic roleplay, why is it piggies? Like, pick something sexier, what the fuck? Anyway, I was feeling all kinds of ways, but also impressed since we didn't wipe once. All in all, I got a good laugh and story out of it, but it did leave me with the impression as a Sprout that this game's community was more degen than it actually is for the most part. Fair assumption. Another one from YouTube. Ew, don't remind me. Me as a warrior, them. I've got a place you can inner release winky face. I included that because I'm sorry, but that was a really good pun. And finally, our last one, which comes from Twitter. I know how you feel. I want to be a cute bunny girl as well. We were born in the wrong era. Technology can't satisfy our needs. Okay, that's a lot. I'm gonna be honest, bunny girls are cute, cat girls are cute, overall, like, we've got some really cool races in 14, but I don't want to be one. I don't really want bunny ears. I play a bunny girl, but I don't really want the bunny ears in real life or the tail. Like, I'm happy just playing it in a game. So I personally can't agree with this person. I wasn't born in the wrong era. I mean, maybe I was. Actually, I feel like this is kind of a tangent, but I'm just gonna do it. This is who I am. Being a woman, there's like not a lot of good eras for me. Like, the further back I go, the worse it gets, right? But like where we are at now is like, it's decent, but it's like also kind of crap because of things like global warming, etc., etc. I was literally just watching Philip DeFranco the other day, and he was like, hey, we have like 10 years to fix shit, and if we don't, we're gonna be like, well, I don't know if it's going to be exactly apocalypse right away, but it's not going to be good because it's basically that a lot of places that are livable now will no longer be livable or survivable. I've read like books about this before. Like in college, we read one called The Sixth Extinction. This is like interesting and terrifying as hell. So basically what time period should I be born in? Because the past isn't good, the present is iffy, and the future is, we don't even know if it's going to exist at this point if we don't get our shit together. So like, sir, we were born in the wrong era? Yeah, we were, but not because of bunny girls, okay? Not because of bunny girls, and not because of technology. We don't even know if we're gonna see that in the future. We might all just, like, die to, like, earthquakes or, like, nuclear warfare when things hit the fan. Okay, this is, like, getting out of hand. Sorry, my tension's getting out of hand. But yeah, that's everything. Those are all of the ones I picked out. Like I said, I will leave a link to the Reddit post in the description, and leave a comment. Tell me what's the weirdest thing someone has ever told you in Final Fantasy XIV. And along with those comments, leave a sacrifice for Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, share, or subscribe because you're already leaving a comment. You're telling me your weirdest tell moment. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye!